2 people have been killed and several of them, in fact, have been injured while the police fired at a violent mob right in Bengaluru when the mob protested violently against a derogatory Facebook post that was posted on the social media platform by allegedly a Congress MLA's relative. Sections of a certain community there came by. Violent protests took place, vandalism reported. In fact, the police used lathi charge eventually and tear gas to disperse the crowd and was later forced to open fire to control the mob, which attacked the DG Halli and KG Halli police station as well. Mob also pelted stones at the residence of Congress MLA Akhanda Srinivas Murthy. 110 people have been arrested, including the main accused who posted the derogatory message on social media. 60 cops were also injured. Section 144 has been imposed while curfew is in place at a few places. Police have appealed to everyone to maintain peace.
Sir, I just wanted to get an update. What is the situation presently, sir?
Police have opened fire.
Okay. Situation is under control right now, sir. The police station is back in control of police?
Yeah. Police situation is under control. They have ran off.
Okay. And CM has spoken to you, sir, now?
Yeah. He spoken about 1 hour back.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I don't know what action has been taken against the person who has taken derogatory this thing. I got to now know that he has been arrested and definitely he will be put on trial. And we want strictest punishment. Not just because he has posted a derogatory message, but he has tried to deliberately create a law and order issue. Right now things are calm, things are clear, things are under control.
Okay.
So right now there is no unrest.
Okay.
Bengaluru, violence that was reported late last night when a Facebook post that came, that in fact was identified by sections of the community that allegedly defamed and spoke ill of the community's prophet, and then violence broke out right after several people came by. The KGLE police station tried to make a complaint, and then eventually, slowly, steadily, close to 1,000 people gathered in the vicinity in KG Halli there, and then eventually it broke out in brutal violence. Nolan Pinto joining us from Bengaluru for more details. Nolan, what we're seeing here is shocking. It's painful to say the least. We're looking at another round of violent protests there taking place in KG Halli, Bengaluru over a Facebook post, social media post that was put up by allegedly a Congress relative. Take us through what really happened. How did this mob go out of control?
Well, Nabila, I don't know what to say about what really happened over here, because the situation could have actually been sorted in a very peaceful manner, but that did not happen. And in one community is to be blamed for that, for actually resorting to violence, and also the police, who should have actually initially taken action by registering an FIR when a few members went and complained, but that did not happen. But again, that is no excuse for the community members to actually resort to mob violence. 60 policemen have been injured, 4 of them serious as of now. And the area that we are in, let me just show you the situation. When I came here last night, Nabila, this particular vehicle was on fire. In fact, you can still see sparks, embers. It's still burning over here. I'm not going to go and stand anywhere near it. Apart from that, this is not the only vehicle. Let me just show you a line of jeeps over there, all burnt by the mob last evening. Now, the police basically initially could not do anything as such. They struggled, and that's one of the reasons why senior officers came to the spot. The commissioner was here. He was also attacked. All the DCPs, Deputy Commissioner of Police, IPS officers were also at the spot. They had to request members of the community, senior leaders, to come and request people to actually stay calm, but that did not happen. The violence went on till late in the night, forcing the police to resort to lathi charge in some cases, to lobbing tear gas shells and also bullets. That was the situation. So it's not just 1,000, more than 1,000 people came. And these are small lanes, Nabila, so it was very difficult for the police to manage. What we are also being told is that after the particular post, a derogatory post against the religion was put up, as of now, the police commissioner tweeted saying that That particular individual, the accused, has been arrested by the police. Another 110 individuals who are responsible for this mob have also been taken into custody by the police. The police have acted very quick. So Section 144 as of now has been imposed in Bengaluru, but curfew in the KG Halli and the DJ Halli police station limits.
Well, it's shocking, it's tragic, it's shameful to say the least. How did the mob go out of control in minutes? How exactly did the situation get violent is the question here. The mob there, angry mob, gathered at the police station, tried to file a complaint. The police refused to take the complaint. It was against a Congress leader's relative for putting up a derogatory post on Facebook. Here we're looking at scenes of devastation that we see across the streets in Bengaluru. Vivek Reddy joining us for more details on that. Vivek, what we see here is absolutely tragic and shameful at the same time. What really do you think has happened? How is the government there handling the situation as of now?
Well, Nabila, I think the government is looking into the exact triggers for the event. But nevertheless, what has happened is really shameful. And really something which is very disturbing, something which is very painful, because this had never occurred in Bangalore. Bangalore is known for its peace and calm. And in this situation, for people to get angry, whatever may be the provocation, I think they must have tried to work out within the framework of the law. They cannot set police stations into fire and set fire to police stations. This sets a very wrong precedent. The government is just swinging into action. They will take serious measures. I'm sure the perpetrators will be brought to book. This is something that cannot recur for the future of the city and for the future of the citizens of Karnataka. Stringent actions are being taken. I hope better sense will prevail and people will realize that this is not the way forward for India.
No excuses for what has happened. It can't be pardoned. Those guilty must be punished and brought to book. But there are several talks on how it could have been so that while the mob got violent, the police stood there a little while as mute spectators. Only until it got violent and snowballed did they start reacting with tear gas shells and then eventually firing. Would you want to clarify on that? And there was no police complaint filed while those agitators reached the police station in the first place.
Yes, I think the commissioner has ordered an inquiry. He will be looking into all the aspects. It is very difficult to speculate as to what was the trigger, what was the reason. But whatever it is, the government and the police force will be looking into it closely, and it will also be seeing whether there was any delay by the police, any negligence by the police. All these things will be looked into. But one thing is sure, that situation could not have gone out of hand. No citizenry which respects the law will ever resort to this.
Absolutely. Vivek, thank you very much for joining us. Undoubtedly, those who are guilty must be pulled up, must be punished. The situation must be thoroughly checked, and those who are vandalizing property there must be brought to book. There is no way. There's no two ways to this. No pardoning for the mob becoming agitated over a derogatory post. There's no pardoning here for the kind of reaction that they have displayed there by assaulting people, assaulting property, assaulting police. What we see here is absolutely shocking, to say the least. We have Nasir Hussain joining us, Congress MP on the phone line. Mr. Nasir Hussain, what we see here is tragic and shocking, shameful as well. What do you think really led to this mob turning so violent?
See, I can understand the anger of the mob. The kind of post that was posted by one Mr. Naveen on the Facebook must have agitated the protesters there. I completely understand their emotions and sentiments on this issue. But that doesn't mean that you can take law in your own hands. That doesn't mean you can vandalize properties, burn vehicles. That doesn't mean you can assault individuals and police people in this. Whoever has done this must not be burdened. Whoever has done this must be tracked, traced, and then must be punished. There's no. But I also have a question to the government. If a mob of this nature and a mob this big is being mobilized and assembled by XYZ, whoever it is, I don't know. What was the police doing and what was the government doing? Is it an intelligence failure? Because I can understand if it is a mob of say 5, 10, 20, 30 people, I can understand that it was sporadic, it was spontaneous. But then
you're absolutely right, Mr. Nasir Hussain. Let me remind you here, what we understand of the situation is that a bunch of people reached the police station. They asked the police to file an FIR with regards to that derogatory Facebook post posted against a prophet of the religion. And then the police did not take action at that point of time. And then the community members sent out messages and calls to the people at mass, asking them to come gather here and teach them a lesson. That was the reaction from the mob, and it did not happen in seconds or minutes. It took a while, maybe an hour or more, for them to mobilize that kind of people with stones. So what you said about an intelligence failure is absolutely right.
Yeah, and then did the government want this to happen so that they would have an issue at hand to divert their failure in the corona virus, COVID-19 issue, their failure in shifting the migrant workers, their failure in stopping the spread of coronavirus in the state of Karnataka. Did they really want this to happen? Because this would have taken at least 2, 3, 4 hours for the people to assemble there, to gather there. So it is Bangalore, it is the heart of the city, it is just about 10 minutes from Vidhana Sauda. So what was the intelligence doing, what was the police doing, and what was the government doing? I'm sure the government must have had intelligence inputs as to what is happening there and how people are getting mobilized and how people are...
Absolutely. Mr. Nasir Hussain, also it is a Congress MLA's relative who's been pulled up. What's your take on that? For posting that derogatory post, yeah.
I'll tell you, I for sure know the MLA. Akhanda Srinivas Murthy is a very, very secular and a very popular leader there. He has been elected with one of the biggest margins in Karnataka, and he is a very sensible man. And why should Akhanda Srinivas Murthy be blamed for someone? He must be his nephew, he must be his relative, whoever it is. How can he be blamed for the post of somebody else? See, two brothers are in two different places. There are n number of examples in this country.
No, we know that, but nonetheless, Akhanda Srinivas Murthy, has he come out? We understand that he's come out and apologized for whatever happened, and also appealed for peace and order there to be restored. Mr. Nasir Hussain, thank you very much for joining us with those details. Going back to Nolan Pinto. Nolan, take us through what's the damage left behind you. Show us the scenes there on the spot. We're ashamed, to say the least, that we're living in a society where we're looking at such kind of criminal-natured, violent mob who can be instigated so easily, mobilized within hours to come and attack and vandalize on a rampage. Absolutely no fear of consequences. It's absolutely shameful. We can't express the kind of trauma that the neighborhood has gone through there.
Well, Nabila, we're just standing opposite the DJ Halli police station. I'm going to enter the police station compound, but before that, let me just show you a line of all the vehicles that have been damaged. I'm actually going to request my camera person Madhu to zoom in and show you the number of police jeeps and normal jeeps that have been burnt by the mobsters, basically the rioters over here at free will. Now, this also begs us to question, what was the police doing, police intelligence? Because when all this was happening in front of the police station, Nabila, in front of the police station, why could they not have brought in reinforcements as fast as possible? This is the question that is being asked, because one can't burn police vehicles in this particular way. Apart from that, now, Nabila, I'm just showing you the situation. I'm actually going to enter the police station. Bikes have also been burnt right over here by the rioters. All these, this is the situation over here. This was the intensity of what really happened. Now, it is only after they started to do this that senior officers rushed to the spot. Nabila, I'm actually going to enter the DJ Halli police station. I want to show you what's the situation inside. We are not too sure how the mobsters actually, or the rioters, managed to actually enter, but you can see the damage over here that has been done to this particular police station. The windows there, it's all blackened. The wall is blackened. This was one can't fathom what was it for the police personnel who were inside over here. Just take a look at the situation right over here. It was extremely deadly, to say the least. 1,000 people, 1,000 plus were present outside over here. And here, this particular vehicle in front of me, the Jeep, completely smashed. As of now, yes, a curfew has been imposed in this particular police station limits, as well as the KG Halli. Section 144 has been imposed across the city. 60 police personnel, this is what the commissioner tells us, 60 police personnel have been injured, 4 of them seriously.
Nolan,
as of now, in the morning, the police commissioner has appealed for calm.
The police eventually had to open fire. 2 people were killed in police firing. That's what leaves us all the more shell-shocked.
Absolutely.
The situation, yeah, go on.
Nabila, in fact, the police had no option. When you're surrounded by a mob of more than 1,000, 1,500, what more can you expect them to do? They had to keep themselves safe as well. The police commissioner in the morning very clearly tweeted saying that the accused has been arrested and 110 odd people who were responsible for this, who the police
Nolan,
have identified.
There are still some questions that need to be answered. Why did the police not crack down on the mob much earlier? Why was a post-mortem done? 2 people were killed in firing eventually over a period of a few hours when the mob there took a violent turn. Why was there an intelligence failure? Why did they stand like mute spectators initially? In fact, we hear that the mob mobilized people on social media platforms, asking people to come join this agitation. Let's protest against those who have insulted our prophet. This took a few hours, and for that, what was the police doing all the while? Why was there post-mortem action taken and not prior? While just as the situation got out of hand, the police could have clamped down on the situation instead of waiting for it to turn violent to this magnitude. Nolan Pinto tracking all those details. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to bring you more details on this. Bengaluru city now, section 144 imposed. Here we're looking at mob who've attacked several police, in fact 2 police stations that have been vandalized. People in the vicinity there shocked, came out to see a violent mob torching vehicles, brutally attacking those who came on their way. 60 police officers have been assaulted, attacked, and finally the police had to fire at the mob, killing 2 people. I have with me, joining us on the phone line, Bengaluru Police Commissioner Kamal Pant. Mr. Kamal Pant, here we're looking at violent situations in Bengaluru. A lot of talk on, yes, you controlled the mob eventually. You shot at the mob. 2 people were killed to control the violent mob there. But a lot of talk on where the police officers mute spectators initially when the mob mobilized itself right before you.
No way. I don't think this is the correct interpretation, because, say, that area is a very congested area, and the access to that place is very narrow, and we have to go through very thickly populated areas. So when this incident happened, when initially mob gathered protesting against the Facebook post, the officers tried to pacify them. Their demand was that the accused should be handed over to them. So when they explained them the situation, they refused to oblige, and they all gathered. More and more people gathered there, and DCP himself was there with armed police, and the police station doors were locked, and the vehicles which had carried the police personnel were set on fire. And subsequently, when we realized that things were going out of hand, then we all rushed there. So we took another route. We went to another building. Then we intervened. And after that, we brought the situation under control. This went on for 1 or 2 hours. So this is the fact.
Precisely what we're shocked that the violent mob, they mobilized a lot more people through social media platforms, Mr. Kamal Pant. That's the information that we get, that they sent out messages on Facebook and other social media platforms asking people, come join this agitation. Let's protest against the man who's written out a derogatory post. Let's teach them a lesson. So was this an intelligence failure is the question here?
No, I don't think so, because you have to understand this post when appeared. After that, there's hardly within half an hour, 1 hour time, this incident happened. Okay, So, as I told you, this police station is located in a very, very dense area, in away, almost 1 kilometer away from the main road. So, this was the reason, and police has acted. DCP was very much there. DCP had reached there. He has used the reinforcement.
Right, Mr. Kamal Pant, it's not easy for the mob to be mobilized during a COVID-19 period. For them to have actually gathered people, it took them a little while. In the meanwhile, were the police hesitating to crack down on these people because they were from a certain community?
No ways. Police. No. I think the situation, the ground situation was very different than what you are interpreting. The number of people outside, then the people who are inside the police premises, and when the reinforcement came, action was taken. It's so simple.
Right, Mr. Kamal Pant, what we're saying is when the mob approached the police, they asked for an FIR to be filed. Why was there a complaint not taken? Maybe that would have cut the problem at the nip.
Taken the complaint. No, the demand was to bring the accused before them.
And then you said that they didn't listen to you.
No. See, they demanded the accused to be produced, which was not possible, which cannot be, such request could not be entertained.
Absolutely, you're right.
Yeah.
He can't be brought before them, but their demands were only increasing. You said that you tried to pacify them, but they didn't listen. So you should have taken a little force at that point itself. How can they not listen? They are supposed to be listening to a police officer. All right, that was Kamal Pant, the police commissioner of Bengaluru, who says that the police has done its bit. They've done all that it can to control the violent mob. But several questions raised about how this mob turned so violent in the span of 2 hours. It took 2 hours for the mob to snowball into such fiery scenes, violent scenes, eventually destructing everything on their way. In fact, we hear that the mob mobilized people on Facebook, asking people to come join the protest. Where did they get the stones from? Eventually, stone pelting was reported at large around KGLE area. They got stones. They mobilized more crowds. Like Nolan Pinto, our ground reporter, says, it was not just 1,000 people, it was a lot more. The crowd was huge, and they were focused. They wanted to bring this man to book. The man who posted the Facebook post, it was derogatory in nature, which was in fact speaking of the community's profit. It was derogatory in nature to the point that the community gathered together in such large numbers and wanted that man to be brought to the police station with immediate effect. Now, that can't be possible. This is not mob justice here. We're looking at law and order in the country, which is maintained across. How did it lose control in Bengaluru KGLE station? Now, the cops say that the mobs turned violent because the man was not brought, because the man in question, who is supposed to be a Congress MLA's nephew, Akhanda Srinivas Murthy is a Congress MLA in the area there. His nephew allegedly put up that Facebook post, and the mob demanded that he be brought before them. And unfortunately, because the police did not oblige, and even the police also did not refuse to take a complaint on him, that's when the mob turned violent. Here, at least 110 people have been arrested. 2 have been killed in police firing. Tear gas was used to disperse those crowds. It took at least 3 hours for the entire situation to be brought under control, but not before enough damage was done. In fact, now Section 144 has been imposed across the Bengaluru city. It's quite tragic that the neighborhood there had to suffer owing to a violent mob, clashes between the police. In fact, between the police and the mob, the clashes turned so violent that at least 60 police officers were injured as well. This is absolutely shameful, tragic. We heard what the Home Minister has said. The situation is now under control. Section 144 has been imposed. Remember, all of this amid the COVID-19 crisis and now spike in numbers in Karnataka.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.